Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, coming here for another love circle. And today we are talking about unshakable confidence. That is a word we all are after. We learned about this word in a very young age. You gotta be confident, do debate program, do this, do that, hold your posture like this, be more confident. And that is a skill or I would say a trait that we all look for, we all feel attracted to, and that is something we all strive to achieve within ourselves or connect with that energy within ourselves. But very rarely we understand what is confidence. How do I get there? Most of us are faking it till we make it. We depend on our achievements to make us feel confident. So when you start on that journey to lose weight, the first pound you drop gives you the confidence to keep going. When you put yourself out there and you get your first job, that gives you confidence to be even more out there. I remember when I was going through my episode of deep depression, I put myself out there again when I got the first job after a break. That gave me the confidence to stand on my own 2 feet again and to start working on myself. Generally, we look for confidence through our achievement, something outside of us. But can you embody confidence, especially unshakable confidence? And what is something you can do to get to a place where no matter what happens in your life, you don't budge? So that is this conversation is about. That's why I'm so excited to bring you this conversation. These pieces can move within you. They're very easy. They're not difficult. But if you don't know what they are, that is when we are just faking it till we making it. And the next thing you know, you're 50 or 60 and you still don't feel confident to go for the things that you truly desire deep within you. So first, let's look at what confidence is. According to Google search, the definition of confidence, there used to be a time where we'll say, according to Webster Merriam Dictionary, this is the definition, but let's just go with Google. It's a feeling of belief or trust on someone or something. So, what we are talking about is self-confidence. So, if you have this feeling of belief or you have trust within yourself that you will show up for yourself, you will show up with whatever endeavor you're going for, that is called confidence. When you tell somebody, I'll meet you 6 a.m. at the door of the gym, and you know you'll get there, and you will actually get there, that is confidence in yourself. It's the confidence in the ability of in your own ability. That is what confidence is. Underneath the layer, it's trust. When you know you can trust yourself, that is confidence, my friend. So if you're looking for confidence, if you want to build confidence, build trust within yourself. And I'll be, once again, whatever I share it from a place of embodiment to the best of my ability. And when I tell you, my friends, my confidence went to being God knows where, to even me being blown away by the level of confidence that I have been expressing or embodying or emanating lately. It's all trust. Over the years, I have built that trust within myself. And when we have that solid foundation of trust, nobody can take it away from us. So, what we'll be talking about, building that trust and how to build it, how you break it, so you can become the most confident version of yourself. So, first, let's look at it. Whatever breaks trust lowers your confidence. So let's say you said that you're going to start your diet from Monday and then you didn't. You're not going to be as confident person as you thought you are. So when you'll show up at your work and you're being given this new project, you'll you will doubt yourself, your ability to actually create something wonderful with that project. So that is what we call low confidence. So what we will do generally, we'll start hiding. If you're a person who's hiding where you're not keeping your words with yourself, and there are parts within my life where I'm still hiding, and I know that I'm not keeping words within myself, because as long as we are in a human body, there's also another level of confidence we can build. There's also another level of darkness within us that we can transform into light. So don't think you're a big shot, you're up there, you're the most confident person the world has seen. Um, there's always another layer for you to go deeper into yourself because you and me, we're infinite being. There's always going to be another layer of expansion that we can tap into. So now just look at your life, all the places where you lie knowingly or unknowingly. A good chunk of us lie unknowingly. We talk about things that we don't really believe in, but we think we believe in them. For example, you might believe you're a very punctual person, but then 80% of the time, or 20% of the time, you're not showing up on time. You don't really value time that way. So then you're not a punctual person, but then you'll keep telling everybody that you're a punctual person. That is something I just realized about me this year. I used to think I'm a punctual person, and then I really became honest with myself, which is the hard part. And I realized I'm not, and that's okay. I'll build that skill whenever I want to. The key is to be honest with ourselves and stop lying. So wherever you're lying to yourself, wherever you say that you will do this, but you don't, but you're just telling the other person just so they will get off your back, in those moments, you're losing trust in yourself and you're losing confidence in yourself. When you don't show up for yourself, when you don't show up for other people, you say you'll be there, but then you're not. When you're late, when you put things on tomorrow and that tomorrow never arrives. One of the things I started to do to take care of that in my life, I don't start things on Monday. I start on today. Whatever the day is. If today is I made the decision, I'm going to do it, it happens that day. It does not happen on a Monday. It not happens on the new moon or full moon. It happens when I have decided to do it. That is how you can build that confidence within yourself. When you will get to a place that you know you're not going to abandon yourself, that is when you become a confident person. And the ways we abandon ourselves is when we start looking for other people validation because we're not validating ourselves. So this thing that we call confidence, let's say if it's the tip of the mountain, there is trust there, there's self-validation there, there is seeing yourself as something you haven't seen yourself yet. There's so many pieces to it. So when we start with, let me just fake this confidence, our whole nervous system is shaking like that because you're trying to change the top of the mountain without changing the foundation of that mountain. That's why it feels like you have been at it for many years or many months and still you don't feel confident because you're lying to yourself, you're abandoning yourself, you're prioritizing other people more than yourself, you're pretending to be somebody you're not, you're comparing yourself and copying other people. Those are all the traits or things going on within us. They rip us off of our confidence, especially the unshakable kind, because we are not congruent or aligned within ourselves. We're trying to be something or somebody that we are not. So, whenever you're going to break trust with yourself, whenever you're going to abandon yourself, let me just add, whenever you're going to abuse yourself, knowingly, unknowingly, that those are all the things that are going to hurt your confidence. Think of it this way. You're a child and you have a parent. If that parent leaves you home unattended for many hours, are you going to trust that parent? If that parent does not give you food on time, Are you going to trust that parent? If that parent doesn't talk to you kindly, if that parent says, hey, I'll be home at 6, but then they don't show up till 9 p.m., if the parents say tomorrow I'll get you ice cream, but then they don't, what kind of relationship you will have with that parent as a child? Like as a child, that is what's going on within us with confidence. This force exists within us, this energy exists within us, but when we don't work on that congruency, that alignment, that nurturing, then on the top we can put on red lipstick and, high heel shoes and pretend to be very confident, but inside we are shivering. We feel weak. And that is where a lot of GI tract um, ailments come from because we're trying to force ourselves to be something we are not, and all of our emotions are going crazy, affecting our our digestion system. So that right there, a lot of people who are faking confidence, they don't have it. You will find that correlation within you if you're one of those people. Now, is it possible to get to a place of development where we never break our trust with ourselves? Not happening, my friend. You might get to 99% if you're so aware, so present. The chances are you will end up abandoning yourself, lying to yourself, breaking trust with yourself, abusing yourself. The chances are that you will be doing that. But what can we do? We can do things on consistent basis to build that trust again, to apologize to ourselves, to seek our own forgiveness. A lot of people, they think it's very hard for them to forgive other people. It's not hard for us to forgive other people. The hardest thing is to forgive yourself. And if you're not doing continuous work on self-forgiveness, let's say on daily basis, if you're still carrying the stuff that you didn't finish yesterday, then you are hurting your own confidence within you. You're hurting your trust within you. So when we get used to forgiving ourselves every single day for the things that we said we will do, but we didn't do, for the places we said we'll show up, but we didn't show up, when we get into a habit of forgiving ourselves, that is when our confidence does not get impacted because we are living in a physical world. We are still in a human body. Stuff is going to happen. I'll quickly share. Yesterday, I had two calls on my schedule. They were networking calls. I had all the intention to show up, but then I did not really feel in an emotional space to show up. And I chose to do different activities. It was not avoidance. I was very, very aware that I said I will show up, and right now making the decision not to show up. There had to be a conversation between me where I released myself from that responsibility of showing up. I understood, I forgave that part of me that said I am not showing up, and I gave myself permission to not show up. When we take time to have those tiny conversations with ourselves, that is when we keep our inner aligned. So this morning I woke up with a stronger sense of confidence, a stronger sense of trust, because now I am not against myself. Now the tiny voice is not saying, "Oh, well, yeah, sign up. You're not never going to show up." That tiny voice is not there. If I did not have that conversation with myself, then a tiny voice would have been there. How many times that happens to you? When you say you'll show up, then you don't. The next time you're making plans, the tiny voice is saying, "You're lying. You're not going to show up. Why you're even bothering the other person?" That voice has developed over time by lack of trust within you, by lying to yourself, by not showing up for yourself. So those are the things that we'll have to work on. But let me give you two things that you can do to not hurt your trust with yourself or keep rebuilding trust within yourself as you go. The first one is only commit to things that you know you can. Recently, I was invited to something, and my initial answer was no. And I explained that I can tell you yes, but most likely my answer is no. At the end, I did end up going because when the time came, there was enough time and whatnot. So I reached out again and I said, I will be there. But initially, let's say if I would have said yes, and then I got busy with something else and didn't show up, it doesn't hurt the other person. It does not hurt the person who have invited you. It hurts your trust within yourself. You're not keeping your words. Your words mean no value to you then. That is, my friend, where this unshakable confidence come, where you know you can depend on yourself. When you know that you can depend on yourself, you don't need other people's validation. That is when you can go out there and live a very fearless life, especially letting go of the fear of what other people will think of you. That is the most paralyzing fear that we do have in our human psychology. The second thing you can do is forgive yourself and release it. So let's say this morning I wake up and there were things on my list yesterday that I didn't do. I can carry that on my back all day long. Why didn't I finish these tasks yesterday? Or I can make myself feel guilty for all of that. I can indulge in that energy. Or when I wake up in the morning, I can release it and I can just create a new to-do list and never think about what did not get done yesterday. If you start living like that, one, committing only to the things that you are 110% sure you will, otherwise just say, I'm not sure, I will let you know later. And it's within yourself too. Do not tell yourself you're going to show up to the gym 6 a.m. every single day if you're not going to. Allow yourself the room to just see how you feel before you can start making commitments. Earlier this year, I gave myself 5 months to just see if I will make um, yoga as my regular routine. I did not impose it on myself. I just gave myself space. And one day I was at it. And then when I was on it for 10 days without missing any day, that is when I started committing to myself that this is something I'll be doing every single day. So commit to the things that you're definitely sure you'll do, and also forgive and let go of whatever you have not done, whatever ways you have hurted yourself. When you get involved in those two things, your confidence level is going to keep going higher, 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 higher every single day. And within a couple of years, you'll see that you are blown away by the level of confidence you show up with. You're able to speak up in places, you're able to reach out in places you never did before. It's just a very different kind of way of being. But what shifted? Your trust within yourself. What created that trust? You being honest and truthful to yourself. You not lying to yourself, you're not abandoning yourself. So if you're aiming just for the confidence and you're like, I'm just going to be my most confident self, I'm just going to keep making mistakes till I get there. Well, that is when you're trying to go against the flow of the water. You're swimming against the flow of the water. You can start building these tiny things and the confidence is taken care of on its own. Now, for those of us who really want to get to that unshakable confidence, how do we get there? What are we plugged into that we can show up that way, that we are unbushed, unbothered by whatever is in our face, and we know we got it? How do we get to that place? So there's three things I'll be sharing to get to that place, and with that we can start wrapping up. The first one is realize whatever you're doing in your life, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's, really sharing your light with the world, whether it's being the best at your job, whether it's you are in 2 different degree program and you're doing all these things, whatever you're doing, realize you're not doing it. The human part of you is not doing it, it's the soul part that's doing. The energy that's performing those tasks, the energy that gets out of bed, that gets, breakfast ready, that gets all the kids ready, that energy is coming from a different source. It's not really coming from you. It's almost like realizing you're plugged into a source, and that is where the energy coming from. A bulb will never say, I produce electricity. A bulb is just a channel for that electricity to pass. A bulb always knows light is coming from somewhere else. When you realize you're just a bulb and there's electricity plugged into you, that is doing the work. That is lighting up the room. That is the consciousness I'm talking about. When you start living with that level of consciousness, you're not going to be so worried. Why do I have a, weird forehead? I cannot be confident because people will look at my forehead. That is when you completely forget about how you look, who you are in your physical body. And as long as you're plugged into the electricity, you are going to light up the room. And just that that level of consciousness alone, if you just focus on that, you will be the most confident person in the room if you choose to be. I can tell you there are moments where I don't choose to be the brightest and the highest and the most confident. There are moments I just like to sit on the side. But if you choose to be that, it's that realization. I'm not doing it. And the next layer that goes with it, the divine power is doing it. Whatever is moving through you is the one inspiring you to do your healthy routine every day. Maybe you're juicing every day. Maybe you're going out and sharing your ideas with other people. It's that power moving through you. First part is realizing you're just a vessel and realizing something else moves through you. What most of us do, we say, I'm doing it. So when you're trying to take credit for something that you're not doing, that is when we feel blocked and paralyzed because that is a lie. The truth is, I'm just a channel. You're just a channel. There is another power that moves through us that helps us do whatever we are doing. For example, when I started Love Circle, it was April of 2021. It's been um, a little over 3.5 years. I decided I'll do it every single Thursday. And my first thought was, how in the world I'll do it, because I was a single mom at that time. School was virtual. I had no idea if my son, he was so young, he will just walk in. I had no idea how I will do it. In that moment, I reminded myself, I'm not doing it. A power is doing it through me. And I've been able to carry it for this long. Missed, I think, maybe a handful of days in the 3.5 years. So that is what gives you the confidence to really do things. That is what gives you the belief, a feeling of belief. I can depend on this. I can depend on this, not the body. I can depend on the light that is within me. It will show up. But if you're not plugged into it, if you think it's you, and then you're in a habit of lying to yourself all the time and not really showing up for yourself, and you're focused on what other people think of you, you have pinched the source. Now you're not connected to the source. It's just like, the bulb takes out the switch and say, well, I'm the one lighting myself. It's not going to light up. Us realizing it's not me doing it helps us plug into that infinite light. The last layer to this thing is, now, again, once again, this is the level of consciousness. If you really want to, if you're really serious about that unshakable confidence, is humility. And most of us, we understand humility to be like, oh, I'm low, I'm nobody, and, God is everything. We're not talking about that, because that is playing yourself low. um, there's another way to look at it. Nothing belongs to me. You don't have to put yourself all the way down and beat yourself up. You can realize nothing belongs to you. That is the truth. That the knowledge that you have doesn't belong to you. We can lose it anytime. The money that is in your bank account, you can lose it anytime, doesn't belong to you. The kids that you have, Doesn't belong to you, you can lose it anytime. When we realize that nothing belongs to me, it's easier for us to realize that we are just a channel, we are just a bulb that is letting the electricity flow through it. So let's say you have a wonderful opportunity to present or pitch your idea to the world. And then, there's so much potential. Maybe it will lead to you having such an amazing business. Maybe you'll create a lot of jobs. And you're just feeling knots in your stomach and you're like, oh my God, how in the world am I going to get out there and share this idea? Now, first of all, realize it's not your idea. Second, you're not doing it. There's a power that is doing it through you and nothing belongs to you. My friend, take that level of consciousness, go in front of any amount of people, 15,000, 30,000, 2 million people. Go out there with that level of consciousness. Nothing belongs to you. You'll be surprised how confident you will show up because you're not attached. It's not yours. You're just showing up, and you know that the light will show up with you. The moment you make it about yourself, your legs are going to be shaking. Your nervous system is going to start doing its own thing. You might be fighting in your mind between it's not mine and it's mine. You might be fighting through that. But when you have embodied this level of consciousness, nothing belongs to me, you'll be surprised the way you'll be able to channel that light that is ready to come out of you, that wants to come out of you. Now, you might be like, okay, I understand, these concepts and whatnot. How do I get to that level of consciousness? So realizing we all are so attached to our personality. I thought I was a very confident child. I was a very confident teenager. It wasn't until I really started digging deeper into all my confidence was based on how smart I am. And if there's a topic that I don't know and I'm not smart in that area, there's zero confidence. Once I realized that through my own healing journey, that is when I got to, I will say I'm blessed to build that level of confidence. We are so attached to the personality we are. But when we get attached to the I am within us, that force that lives through us, when we start getting attached to that, that is the way to a higher level of consciousness. So maybe my personality is confident or not confident, but if I start focusing on who I am in my essence outside of this body, the I am soul part of me, that is going to take me beyond my body consciousness. So go around all day long thinking, who are you beyond this body? Just that thought alone is going to start increasing your confidence. You'll be meeting with someone new. You might want to feel shy. You might want to hide behind somebody. You might want to completely disappear. And then you would realize that I am an infinite power. And let that power channel through you. And you'll be able to see the human in the other person. You'll be able to see the same power in the other person. Once I got to that, I can tell you, once I got to this level of like, connecting with other people, I stopped feeling anyone is bigger than me or above me. I can meet with a complete stranger and connect with them right away because I'm looking for that same infinite being within that person that I feel connected to. The second part of it is just the thought process to get you to that level of unshakable confidence. What's yours can never be lost. If you desire it or you see it, you can create it. Now, let's say most of us, we create from a place we saw somebody buying a house and we're like, I'm so confident I'm going to get that house in 5 years. Well, that is comparison. First, you have to sit down with yourself and close your eyes and just ask yourself, do I really want to be a homeowner? If the answer is yes, you might want to just have a condo on the beach. If the answer is yes, ask yourself, do I really want to have what the other person wants to have? If you can see that within you, it already exists within you. And if it already exists for you, nothing can stop it from becoming yours. That is confidence, my friend. That is trust. Trust in the structure of the universe. When you have that trust, you're not going to be doubting yourself, feeling bad for yourself, saying negative things to yourself, telling yourself, why did you blow up that job interview? Only you would have stayed focused. We would have done so much better. And right now I'll be back to work. If it belongs to you, it will find you. That is just how this universe works. So you don't have to beat yourself up for all the missed opportunities or all the places where you were not quick enough or confident enough. When you start living with this trust, you show up a very confident person. Then an opportunity comes to you and you're not going to sabotage it, thinking it's bigger than you, it's too much for you. Can you really even do that? If that opportunity is in your lap, it's already yours. All you have to do is let that light move through you and light up the room. The last one is going to be the most difficult to swallow. There is nothing you can ever do wrong. If you can embody that, you're going to be one of the most confident person. Now you might be saying, how come Ali? I mean, I just made this mistake. I just made that mistake. I just made, like, I personally just realized this morning working with Canva, I made a mistake there. The difference is I'm not going to go towards guilt and beat myself up. I'm just going to realize, oh, I did this. How do I want to do differently in the future? There's no friction there. We want to stay in flow. We want to stay in a space where light can continuously flow through us. But we are going to have learning experiences. I was meant to do the mistake, so-called mistake that I did to learn something. And now I learned something. Valuing the whatever lesson you learn is going to help you detach from making mistakes or why I made mistakes. So many of us, we don't do things. We don't go after our dreams. We don't manifest our desires. We don't physical manifestation of our desire because we're afraid we are going to make a mistake. What if there's nothing you can ever do wrong? The way you show up, whatever you share in the world, no matter what if there is no such thing as wrong? How confident you'll show up. That, my friend, in itself is going to give you unshakable confidence. You will get to a place where you trust yourself to make the biggest decisions of your life with unwavering or unshakable confidence because you know no matter what happened, you'll be okay. So that wraps up our conversation for today for unshakable confidence. And if this is an area in your life you really want to work on showing up for yourself, committing to yourself, what I call it healing your relationship with yourself. You can always reach out to me, DM me. You can go to my website, aliajamalcoaching.com, and you can book a conversation with me. When you get to be your most confident self, that is when you can truly share the light that is within you with the world. Otherwise, you will be just pretending to be someone that you're not. You'll be just comparing yourself and draining yourself. One more announcement I want to make. So Love Circle, the structure we are in right now, will not be coming into 2025. I did receive that message from my inner being. I am not sure how I will be contributing. I do know I'll be contributing even bigger than the Love Circle structure right now. As I will know, you'll be the first one to hear. If you're not on my newsletter to get all the information, you can go to, I believe it's bit.ly dot bit.ly join love circle. You can still join using that, but that page will not be active in January of 2025. And I just wanted to take a moment. I will be back in December. I believe we have 3 conversations in December. I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the persistence that I have showed for 3.5 years of showing up every single Thursday. And I also wanted to acknowledge for all the people who have benefited from it, who have shared it with others, and who continue to reach out to me and tell me how much their lives are changing with this wisdom. I really appreciate that. And I will be going in a direction on a bigger level, and I know that you'll be benefiting even more whatever light is coming through me. Sending you all so much love. I'll see you not next Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. We're taking a break. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Till then, have a wonderful time. I'm sending you love. Bye.